Yeah. All right. We are live on YouTube. How's everybody doing today? How is everybody doing today? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Hey, Lewis. How are you doing, man? It's a beautiful day again here in Redwood City, California. Another great day for a walk. I'm so glad that you could all join me here today. Ah, I got to tell you, folks, I hit the restroom earlier today and I felt like I delivered a baby. And I'll just leave it at that. I feel very light and ready to rock and roll. A little bit windy, but not too bad. Nothing I can't handle or the windscreen can't handle. And today I have another great topic to discuss. We're going to be discussing modern men and why modern men are struggling with women in this modern world we all live in today. Stick around for that. We'll get to that in just a few. It's beautiful. The water, even though we have a water shortage, the water is full. Maybe they're bringing in the reserve. Tapping into our reserves, right? You know, one great thing about being an American and what our tax dollars has paid for the longest time is to have a good amount of resources in reserve for times and situations like we're dealing with in the modern world right now. Well, not even in the modern world. We've been in the modern world for a little while, but during the present times where, you know, gas prices are at an all-time high, inflation's at an all-time high, and you know, wages are nowhere near keeping up with inflation. So you know, it is what it is. But yeah, we've got lots of reserves, fuel and water, and you know, we're only going to be tapping into those reserves when we absolutely need them. That's why they're there. They're there for a rainy day, figuratively speaking. Although a rainy day wouldn't make sense in the situation of our water shortage here, our water drought in California, because a rainy day or many rainy days are what we really need, or is what we really need. Oh, man. Lewis, you still around? Just gave me a like, and good afternoon, Eli. Huh. Ah, man. Oh. You know, yesterday on the show, I mentioned that I have an ingrown toenail, and I was kind of trying to remove it last night. I took care of part of it, but there's still a little more I need to remove. I'm going to do that tonight, so I can definitely feel my big toe throbbing. Typically, I've had ingrown toenails in the past, in my younger days, and I've usually been able to, remove an ingrown toenail, anytime I've gotten one, without having to go to the doctor. But in this case, if I'm not able to take care of that tonight, I'll be making an appointment to see my doctor sometime next week. Oh, God, my toes like inflamed. And that's why I think it's been affecting my walking and the whole right side of my leg and my thigh and my knee and all that the pain just radiates. And so, it just makes it a little more difficult to do things. So, wish me luck on that. Wish me luck on removing this later tonight myself. And if not, the good old doc's office will take care of it next week. So let's just go ahead and get right to the topic today, because there's a lot to discuss regarding why modern men are struggling with women in the modern world, the real reasons, right? And let me just start it off. Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, the Walking with Purpose live edition, live from the San Francisco Bay Trail here in beautiful Redwood City, California. It's about 75 degrees today, probably a little cooler on the trail. It's a little windy, so it's about 72 degrees or so, it feels like, on the trail, and just feel great. Breathing in the fresh air and kicking in those endorphins. There's no better feeling. This is episode number 319. Episode number 3, I believe it's 319. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I think it is. It's 319. And the topic is why modern men struggle with women. One more time. Why modern men struggle with women. I came across a video. I believe the channel name, I think it's called Casey Zander, I think is his name. He's a coach also as well. And he focuses most of his coaching primarily towards men. And I don't blame him, because as I've said in the recent past, and the past in general, men in the modern world are struggling with relationships at a far greater level than women are, or in different ways than women are. Men also have had far fewer choices to select from the pool than women have. Women have had unlimited choices. And even though women have had unlimited choices, it's still been difficult for women to find the right man, a good man that's well balanced, good looking, but also a great communicator, mentally and emotionally stable, spiritual, just a good all around decent guy, right? Not a sissy man, but not an arrogant, pompous ass, a well balanced man right in the middle, right? So yeah, women have unlimited amounts of options nowadays, but they're still struggling to find the one. So men are complaining that they don't have the same options as women do, and women are complaining we have all these options, but there aren't any good men left, right? And what's creating that? We have to first start off and talk about what's creating that. And I believe it was Casey Zander's channel where I saw this video on. Like I said, he has like 300k subs. He's saying, hey, to a lot of you guys out there, you're probably not going to like what I have to say. And He was saying the same things I always say. I'm not trying to trigger you. I'm not trying to upset anyone. But if you guys want to turn this around for the better and finally get what you want, which in turn will give women also what they want, and everyone's happy, you got to learn to understand this and own this and turn it around, right? Casey Zander wasn't attacking men in that video, and I'm not here to attack men or anyone in general. I'm here to state what's actually happening because I've been through it. I've experienced it. I understand it. I've also turned it around and become successful at dating. I've never had a problem getting a date because I understand everything I'm going to be talking about here today. Let me go off the air for a second and come right back. I'm going to reset the chat. Be right back, folks. Hey. All right. We're back live. We are back live. My buddy that walks this trail every day like I do. Well, I walk some other trails sometimes, but I'm usually here primarily. He's the guy that's like, he's at least in his 70s, maybe early 80s. And he walks and jogs this trail every day on the long side, 3.5 miles, with his shirt off. He's tan. And for an older gentleman, he's in really good shape. He's got a great attitude, and he always says hi to me. I said hi to him right before I jumped off the air for a second to reset the chat in case it got stuck. So, let me make it very clear that, I'm not here to upset anyone or trigger anyone. I'm truly here to help people. But in order to help people, like I've always said, you've got to give it to people straight. And to give it straight regarding how most men are coming off nowadays, the truth of the matter is you guys are just not behaving like men. The things that you guys are doing, you're focused on, and you're wasting your time on is ridiculous. And you wonder why you can't get dates. Or some of these guys, they're able to get women because they're decent looking, but they can't keep women around. Or when they start dating a woman, their woman starts getting upset because these guys start doing the dumbest things. Even when they get into their late 20s and early 30s, what happens to these guys? A lot of them are playing video games all day. They're excessively drinking. They're smoking a ton of, weed, which is legal in most states now here in the U.S. But regardless of whether it's legal or not, the point of the matter is, these guys are lazy guys. You guys are lazy is what's happening. You guys are lazy, and you feel that just because you may have a job and make okay money and look okay, that is good enough to keep a woman around. And no, it's not. That's not what women want. And that's not what a good, decent, down-to-earth, real man would want either, right? Because the truth of the matter is, both good men and good women, they both want the same thing. They both want companionship, right? They both want a best friend and a best lover, someone to confide in, right? Someone to go on weekend getaway trips with, someone to be romantic and intimate with, right? But what's happening nowadays is that a lot of men are expecting women to just show up into their lives and take care of the man in the ways he wants her, or he wants her to take care of him. And then there are women that are willing to do that, but at the same time, these women want to be taken care of as well, and these men are not taking care of their women in ways that women should be taken care of in a relationship. I'm not just talking about financially, with dinner and all those things. I'm talking about emotionally, sitting down with your lady, having a conversation, hearing about her day, And if she's going through something, listening to what she's going through and understanding what she's going through and giving her the emotional support that any decent man should give his woman, right? That's what's happening nowadays. And a lot of these men don't realize that you're not entitled to women. And you're not going to just be able to snap your fingers and get a woman. And the fact that you have resources and you make money and all that doesn't mean you're going to get a woman. Women have been liberated, like I've been talking about for many years now. Women have been liberated for a little over 55 years. And they have their own resources. They have their own money, their own homes, their own apartments, their own cars. So, guys, you can't get women nowadays in the ways you used to be able to get women just by having money and being able to provide resources. You have to be an emotionally strong and mentally strong man and also provide mental and emotional support for your lady. But even back in the days of traditionalism, that's what good men gave their women anyway, even though the primary reason why women got with men back in those days was for their resources and support, and they couldn't survive without them. And I'm not saying that the women back in those days didn't really love their husbands. What I'm saying is that it was easier for men to get women solely based on their resources, right? And nowadays, you also have a lot of men that are upset because of the fact that women have been liberated and have their own resources because they can't get women the traditional way anymore. These guys just don't want to work. They don't want to put in any effort into getting a woman and keeping a woman. It takes effort, right? You guys want women to make the effort for you. How about you do your part and make effort for them? Make equal effort. A real relationship between a man and a woman is going to have 50-50 effort. Now, is it always going to be exactly 50-50? No, it might be 57-43. It might be 51-49. But you want it to be as close to 50-50 as possible, right? That's what you want. That's how it should be, right? So now, you've got these guys saying, well, you know, women get all the attention and women don't have to do anything to get a man. Well, that's true. There's a reason why. But even though women don't have to do anything to get a man, women still do more to get a man than men do to get a woman. At least women have become better filters. And at least they try to make better choices. Because they're tired of dealing with I was going to say men, but I'll just call them little boys. They're tired of dealing with the little boys nowadays that try to call themselves men. Most men nowadays are not men. They're little boys. They're little boys that haven't matured past the age of like 16. And they could be in their mid-20s or early 30s, and they haven't matured past the age of 16 or younger, right? And how can you tell? Just look at their behavior. Look at their behavior, right? Look at the behavior some men do nowadays, right? And it's become more apparent ever since the internet, mobile devices, and social media became mainstream. With social media nowadays, we're seeing this as clear as night and day. And like another entrepreneur I follow, he's become pretty famous. His name is Gary Vaynerchuk, known as Gary V. He always says social media isn't changing us, it's exposing us. You know, one more time, social media isn't changing us, it's exposing us. And it is. It's been interesting for me to see how men, not only all over the U.S., are behaving, but men all over the globe. And this is a global thing with men, because pretty much everywhere globally, women have been liberated, right? So you're getting this not only from men here in the U.S. where I'm at, but globally, right? And I'll tell you, I've never ever seen more men in my entire life project their insecurities than I've seen over the last 5 to 10 years, more so the last 5 to 6 years or so, especially since I've been out here on YouTube, because everyone's on YouTube. I am just flabbergasted by what I've seen out here, right? So the men are complaining and saying that women have all the options. So why do women have all the options? Guys, it's because you've given women all the options. Why? Because you guys also have pedestalized women. You suck up to them. Okay? You guys are all so desperate for any attention from a woman nowadays, because most of you are not attractive enough, either physically or mentally or emotionally, right? So you go on a dating app, right? And you swipe right on everything, right? And, you know, like Coach Corey Wayne says, I follow another coach named Coach Corey Wayne. I've mentioned it many times. He's a great coach. Coach Corey Wayne tries to get people to be a 3% man. So 97% of the men in this world are beta males or somewhat beta males, right? So think about it this way. If 97% of the men in this world that are single are going on dating apps and swiping right on every single woman, can you imagine how many matches all women are getting, regardless of their age, regardless of whether they're attractive or not, right? Regardless of their attitude? All these women are getting hundreds and thousands of matches, right? Right? So what does that do? That overwhelms women, right? And it gives them all the leverage and all the options, right? Now, back in the days of traditionalism, men had the leverage and all the options. Why? Because we were the providers, we had the money, and women didn't have the same rights, and they weren't working, they were dependent on men for survival. But now that's flipped, right? And with that flipping, it's also flipped men from being real men to little boys, even when they reach their 20s, 30s, and sometimes even their 40s. It's pretty sad. It's pretty sad, to say the least. Give me a second here. There's a good amount of traffic on Highway 101 today. Even with my ingrown toenail, I'm walking this trail pretty fast. We've been on for 23 minutes, I think. Yeah, 23 minutes. But why are men swiping right on every woman? Because they're not taking care of themselves enough physically. They don't have the greatest profiles. They don't have the greatest pictures. Right? And they know that they have to swipe right on 1,000 women just to get maybe 3 or 4 or 5 of them to respond. And out of those 1,000 swipes to the right, where they may get 3 or 4 or 5 responses, let's say they get 5 responses, maybe one of those women, maybe 2 of those women will make it to a phone call with him, and then maybe one of them might meet him in person, and it may possibly work out or may not, right? That's what guys are doing. I've seen this. I've seen other YouTubers talk about this, other, YouTubers in the male space called the manosphere. I've seen other coaches talk about this. And I've had my own experience during the times when I was single to see the behavior of how people are on apps and to see the responses from women on apps. And when I was single, and until I found my lady, and even in between past relationships, anytime I encountered, women that had strange things written on their profiles, or if I was communicating with a woman that, said some pretty interesting things about the modern world of dating, I would screenshot it. And I've got a shitload of screenshots, folks. I got a ton of screenshots to the point of where I'm going to eventually do probably a pre-recorded video series down the road to show these screenshots with you guys and gals and show you how women are reacting to the modern world of dating and how guarded and jaded they've become because of the way you men are, right? And it's real simple to turn this around. It's real simple to turn this around. It's all within your mindset. I mean, it's so simple that if you guys just follow this simple process, it'll turn your life around. Okay? If you're lazy and overweight, the first thing you want to do is figure out how much weight you need to lose. Go online and find out one of those BMI calculators, basal metabolic rate, BMR calculators, basal metabolic rate. BMI is body mass index. Go check out your BMI and your BMR online and figure out where you're at right now and where you need to be, and then you'll figure out how much weight you need to lose. But if we take the average weight a person needs to lose, let's say 30 to 50 pounds, right? If you're a man, you need to lose 30 to 50 pounds, you can do it in about 3 to 6 months. If you're diligent, if you're consistent and you're determined and you stick to your diet no matter what, right? And I will tell you, my weight has fluctuated all my life plus minus 30 pounds. And in the past, in between relationships, I would gain 30 pounds. And then I would say to myself, shit, well, I'm single again. I've taken some time off, a few months off. I'm ready to get myself back out there. But shit, I need to lose 30 pounds. For a few reasons. Number one, you're healthier when you're more fit and in shape. But number two, the more fit you appear, or the more fit you are, the more attractive you are to women. Guys, women are visual creatures nowadays too. Because women are liberated and they're not dependent on men for survival anymore, women are looking for a physically attractive man too nowadays. There's nothing wrong with that, right? A lot of you guys think you are owed or deserve a hot chick, but you got, this big beer belly. You're 50, 60 pounds overweight, right? And you've got this big Jesus beard that hasn't been trimmed in 2 years, right? And you haven't showered in 3 days. And you don't use deodorant, right? You don't keep yourself groomed. You don't wear nice clothing. You wear ripped clothes. Now, I understand some clothing like ripped jeans, there's a certain style for that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you guys, a lot of you wear old, raggedy, faded clothing, right? And a lot of times, many of you don't even do your laundry until you've worn your clothes 2 or 3 times. How the hell are you going to get a woman of quality when you're showing up that way? You're not. So the first thing you need to do is get your act together, clean your place up. If you're a hoarder, stop being a hoarder. Declutter everything, organize everything. Also start your diet at the same time. Figure out your diet plan. There are many diet plans online. I can actually help you with that. If you want to work with me personally, go and choose one of my phone coaching packages or email packages, and I can help you with it that way. I'm not going to get into great detail here, but I can help you with that. Or you can just go online and figure out your own diet plan and stick to it, and you'll lose the weight. You know, if you have a nominal amount of weight to lose, you'll lose it in 3 to 6 months. Now, if you're 100 plus months over, sorry, if you're 100 plus pounds overweight, which is what I'm trying to say, it may take you up to a year to lose it or more. But you can do it, right? You get yourself back into shape. You clean up your act around your place. You look at your game console and you say, you know what? I'm retiring you. I'm done. Now, I'm not telling you guys to stop playing games, but you've got to do it more so in moderation, and you can't let it affect your relationship, right? Now, unless you meet a chick that's a gamer, that's a different story. But even then, even meeting chicks that are gamers, those women are also going to want quiet romantic time too. And a lot of you guys nowadays, you know, you want a woman to date, to maybe live with you and be with you, but all you want is a little sex every now and then and her to cook for you. And then the rest of the time you want her to leave you alone so you can play games and rot all day, right? That's not a relationship. That's not. But that's what's happening in most relationships nowadays, in many relationships. And that's why relationships fail, or even if they make it to marriage, the marriage ends up failing within the first 10 years or less. Give me a second here. We're back live. We should be back live. Have 7 in the box, 5 thumbs up. Thank you so much for being here. I thought I saw someone, but I'm just seeing things. It's all good. We're almost at the end of the first side. It's a beautiful day. Beautiful day for some R&R and a walk before the R&R. I'm going to be doing some rest and relaxation when I get home. I'm going to eat, relax a bit, talk with my lady, and then get to bed early. I'm going to be getting an oil change tomorrow, so got to be up early to do that. I have an appointment, and then at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, my lady and I are going to be doing another stream. Tomorrow. And speaking of which, we did do a stream earlier today, but I had to put it to private because I need to edit a few parts out of it before I can put it to public. So if you, oh, that's a helicopter. I think that's like a news chopper. Either that or it looks like the Coast Guard chopper. But why would it be this far out? It's probably a news chopper, traffic chopper. It's going right above the freeway. The thing is, I broadcast in very high quality from the studio. I broadcast in 1080p at 60 frames per second, and I broadcast at 30 megabits per second because I have a fiber line. And the stream was a little over 2 hours, and it's been taking quite a while for YouTube to process live stream replays or process videos that are done in high quality. It's taken much longer than normal lately, so maybe it'll be processed by later tonight or by some point tomorrow. When that happens, I'll be able to go into the YouTube editor without having to delete and re-upload the video, make the edits, and then it has to reprocess, which could take another 10 to 12 hours or so, or a little longer. So my buddy's on his way back. What a good dude. What a good dude. Much respect, bro. Much respect for that guy. God bless him, you know. So yeah, that's why the stream from earlier, if you folks are wondering where it's at, it is on private. It will become publicly available as soon as possible. Hopefully by some point tomorrow or Friday morning at the latest. But yeah, I'll be doing another stream tomorrow on Coach Eli too. My lady has selected some great topics, and it's just been an awesome synergy. My lady right now is taking a little nap. She gets up early and prepares for these shows with me, and she has other errands that she runs throughout the days. And she's got a lot going on, and so by the time afternoon comes, you know, she's tired and takes a little nap because she gets up much earlier than I do. You know, like lately I've been getting up at around 8:30 or 9 in the morning. She gets up at 5. That's 4 hours sooner than me, because she has dogs and other responsibilities that require her to be up at that hour in the morning. For me, what I typically will do is stay up a little bit later at night and relax and catch up on some shows, and then sleep in a little bit more and get my day going. But it all depends on what's going on. Hi babe, how you doing? Respectfully, maturely, and professionally. Hi sweetheart. How are you? I need to continue to come out and say how proud I am of you. You know, how proud I am to call you my lady. And how much you've impacted my life. And how much strength you've shown me. Strength from a woman that's been through so much shit in her life. So many things have happened to this woman, the woman I'm with, out of her control. And all she's been trying to do is find her way and find someone to share her life with so she can live happily ever after. You know, babe, I'll tell you this before I get back to the topic. And someone's on the observation deck, so I'm going to just start heading back. You know, I tease you every now and then, and I say you sound like a little girl, and when you pout, you sound like a little girl, and you do. But quite honestly, babe, that's like the best place for a woman to be. When a woman feels like a little girl, she's the happiest. And I respect that about you. I respect that you can have those girly moments, right? Because my woman Ever since she was a little girl, all she wanted to do was find the love of her life, just like her mother did, and live happily ever after, right? And because of all the things that she's been through that were completely out of her control, she's been fighting. She's been fighting for happiness. And I'm really proud and happy that I met this woman. And we were able to both work through what she was going through, because when we first got together, it wasn't easy. It was very overwhelming. But I knew one thing. I loved this woman, and I didn't want to give up on her. And I could tell how much of a fighter she is and was and still is, and how much she really cared for me and still cares for me. And how much, not only that she really needs me in her life, but wants me in her life. That's what kept me around. This woman is not a quitter. This woman keeps dealing with so much bullshit in this world, online and offline, that it just amazes me how strong she is and how she works through it. Yes, does it bother her a little bit? Sure, but she's getting so much better at handling it, and that's what makes me more proud. And I think tomorrow night, baby, we should talk about the experience you had at the bar last night, where you saw some friends you haven't seen in a while. It was an interesting experience, and we'll do a brief 30 to 45 minute stream tomorrow night. We'll still do our main stream in the morning. I'm going to be getting my oil change tomorrow, babe. I need to be at the oil change place in the morning around 8 a.m. And I'll be back in time for our show at 11. My lady says, I chose you. You certainly did. I'm not gonna argue that. I'm not gonna deny that. Do you hear that, guys? Guys, in the modern world, women choose you. You don't choose them. They have to choose you. Back in the days of traditionalism, where men had all the resources and women were dependent on the man for survival, men chose the women. But no, it doesn't work that way anymore. Women choose you. So what is your job as a man? You know, your job as a man is you go on dates. You hang out, you have fun, you hook up. Hang out, have fun, hook up. Right? And if you end up hooking up more than a few times, and you keep seeing the same person for 2 to 3 months, typically at around the 2 to 3 month period, the woman will start to get feelings for you and start to trust you and become emotionally attached to you. And she'll come out to you and say, how do you feel about me? Or, you know, where do you feel this relationship is going? Where do you feel this is going between us, right? And that's the woman's job. As a man, you never, ever, ever try to lock a woman down. It is the woman's job to lock you down. Your job as a man is to just hang out with her, have fun with her, and hook up. That's it. What more do you want? You're hanging out with her, you're having a good time, and you're having great sex. What's better than that? If she keeps coming back to you, at some point, she'll try to lock you down. And if you feel the same way about her, you can agree to those terms, right? Life's a negotiation. It's like a negotiation. People don't realize it. Relationships nowadays are like a negotiation. Another thing that I got from my good friend, Coach Corey Wayne, that I love and adore. He's a great dude. Learned a lot from that guy. But yeah, that's another problem where men screw up nowadays. They try to lock the woman down after 1 or 2 dates, right? And the truth of the matter is, you got to let women be free. You have to allow a woman to feel free. You know, men are like dogs and women are like cats. What do cats do? They roam around the neighborhood, right? They do whatever the hell they please. They roam around the neighborhood, and sometimes they'll come to you and want to sit on your lap and purr like a good kitty. And other times they just want to roam around, right? And it's up to the cat to decide when it wants to permanently perch, right? But as a dog, you don't go around chasing the cat. Have you ever seen a dog chase a cat? My dog, my family dog, when we were growing up, Babe, and everyone else, was a half German Shepherd, half Temper Wolf, 80 pounds. Big dog. Cool dude, but he would bite your nuts off if you mess with him, right? And he was not fixed. So that mofo was full of testosterone. Oh man, that was a bee that flew over me. He was full of testosterone, right? And anytime like the neighbor's cat would come in the yard, my dog would start to chase the cat. The cat would climb up the fence. The cat would stand at the top of the fence and try to claw my dog. And my dog would jump up and try to bite the cat. Right? You see, when the dog chases the cat gets very angry, and tries to scratch the dog. Typical of something a woman would do, right? We'll just be polite, and also to be good to the YouTube algorithm, it's a female dog move, right? You know what a female dog move is, right? You never chase. You never chase to get a woman. You never try to lock her down. And if she ends up dumping you for whatever reason, you never chase either. Right? And what happens if you're with a woman, if you've been with a woman for a while and she dumps you, right? Right? Women fall out of love slowly over time. And it's because of something that you did or you changed about the way you were showing up. Right? As a man. That's another thing men don't own up to nowadays, right? Let me reset the chat here real quick because I think we froze. All right, we should be back live. No new messages. So you never chase after being dumped. You also never agree to friendship if you don't want to be just friends. If you want a chance of getting your woman back, you don't agree to friendship. The woman will come to you and say, you know, it's just not working out, but you're a good guy and I would love to be friends with you. You know, I would love to stay in touch. And most guys in that situation would say, yeah, we could be friends. That's cool, right? And they're saying that because they think that's the way to get back into the woman's good graces and have another chance romantically with her. And if you do that, you are only firmly cementing yourself into the friend zone. Because the woman will not respect you romantically in that way. They won't trust your masculine core because they know you're being dishonest with yourself and you're being dishonest with them, right? So what do you say? You say the thing that women nowadays would least expect, but this is what every guy should say. You say, well, babe, I'm not interested in being just friends. And she might say, well, why not? It's just not working out for me, you know? I'd like to keep you in my life in some way. Well, I'm not interested in being just friends because I really like what we have. I think you're hot. I enjoy our times together. Our intimacy is great. Our conversations are great. Yeah, are there some things I need to work on? Have I made some mistakes? Sure. Maybe we can sit down and talk about them if you want to give it another shot. But hey, if not, that's okay. I'm going to let you go and do your thing. And give me a call if you change your mind. That same, I think that's the KGO traffic copter. That same copter keeps flying over the 101. But traffic seems to be flowing smoothly now. There must have been an accident earlier. After you tell her that, you turn, you walk away, you never look back. You don't call her, you don't text her, you don't email her, you don't stalk her on social media. Where is that copter going? I think it's going over to the Dumbarton Bridge. The Dumbarton Bridge is over there to go to Union City and Fremont. So I think it's going to check out traffic over there. Okay. I tell you, those choppers, they can get to places really, really quick. They are great to scope out traffic in the entire Bay Area very, very quickly. So yeah, you don't call her, you don't text her, you don't email her, you don't stalk her on social media, you don't reach out to her friends and ask how she's doing, because her friends will tell her, and then she'll know you haven't moved on. It has to be radio silence. You have to allow your woman to realize that you are completely out of her life. And if she ever really felt something for you, or maybe considering giving you another chance, it's going to take that to make it happen. But if you don't allow her the time and space to miss you, there's no chance of it ever happening. And one of two things will happen. She'll reach out to you at some point down the road. Who knows when that may be? Some guys say, how long is the no contact period? Is it 30 days? Is it 60 days? Is it 90 days? Is it 120 days? It's forever. The no contact period never ends unless she reaches out to you. And if she reaches out to you at some point down the road and you happen to be single, right? And you at that point want to still give it another chance, then when she reaches out to you, she might reach out to you by text and say, hey, how are you? Good, how are you? It's great to hear from you. What's going on? Oh, not much, just wanted to see what you were doing. You know? And what I would do in that situation is I would say, hey, you up for a phone call? I'm available now if you are, or we can talk later. You up for a phone call to catch up? Get to the point. You don't want to be texting all day, because the more you stay on the text, it's not a reality. A woman that really wants a second chance with you or is reaching out to you to try and get you back will move things along to the phone. Women that want to just see if you're still around, but they're not ready to come around, but they want to see if you're still available in case they change their mind, they'll dangle the carrot with texting, right? You want to get to the phone, right? And then if she says, okay, yeah, let's talk later tonight, right? Well, you say, what time? Great, 8 o'clock, all right. Let her know I'll call you at 8 o'clock. And you call her at 8 o'clock sharp, right? And if she doesn't pick up her phone, then you don't ever call her back or text her again until she calls you back. If you call her at 8 and she says, hey, how's it going? I would say, hey, it's going great. It's great to hear from you. How have you been? Wow. You know, I'm surprised to hear from you. And she might say, well, why are you surprised to hear from me? Well, we both moved on, and I was dating someone else, and you probably were dating someone else. No big deal, But I'm surprised. She might say, well, I thought you were really a good guy, and I realized I made some mistakes and this and that. And, I wanted to kind of see if maybe you wanted to hang out again and see what happens. Right? And if she's saying that, what she's saying to you is, now it's up to you as the guy to come back and say, and set up the romance to happen. Because you two have already been together in the past. You could either invite her over to your place, and what I would do is I would invite her over to your place, because she was the one that dumped you. She's the one that has to make the effort to get you back. So I would say, well, I'd love to see you. When are you free to get together? She may be like, well, how about tonight? Are you free tonight? And if you're free, say yeah. Why don't you come on over and let's just stay in and catch up, and bring a bottle of wine, and I'll cook dinner, or I'll order us some takeout, and we'll kick back, right? And if she agrees to that, then she's basically agreeing to come over, have dinner, and get the shit pounded out of her, romantically, that is, right? And when I say that, I mean that sexually, like, bang like rabbits, right? Now, some women in that case, or in that situation, will say, well, I would prefer that we, go out for an hour in the town. I haven't seen you in a while, and I prefer that we go out for an hour in the town, blah, blah, blah. And in that situation, you're not going to invest on a night in the town that's going to cost you a few $100 until you make sure she's back, and until she's at least been intimate with you one time. That's when you know she's back, right? So how do you respond to that to not come off, like a jerk, but to make her aware that, hey, this is your one and only chance you're going to get, right? If you really want this, it's all or nothing. Right? You want to call her out, but you want to do it tactfully. You say, well, I've had kind of a busy week, and, I'm not really feeling like going out. I just kind of want to hang around my place and kick back. And if you want to join me, that'd be great. But if that doesn't work for you, give me a call in 2 to 3 weeks, and maybe I'll be up for doing something formal at that time. Oh, that's the greatest thing to tell a woman that really wants to see you, right? But is trying to stay away from your place because she's trying to hold back the fact that she wants to be intimate and she wants to make you work it. But what she's trying to do is get you to invest in her first financially before she gives it up to you again, right? And what you're trying to do is get her to give it up before you invest in her financially, right? So that's the name of the game, right? But all you have to do as a guy in that situation is say, I've had a long week. It's been a crazy week at work, and it's nice to hear from you, but this happened out of the blue, and I'm not really in the mood to do anything formal tonight. I just feel like hanging out at my place. But if that doesn't work for you, give me a call in 2 to 3 weeks, and maybe I'll be up for doing something formal at that time. 90% of the time in those cases, she'll come on over and bring a bottle of wine. And she will respect you more for standing up for yourself and not feeding into her shit test. Right? It's a shit test. That's what it is. Right? You got to be the man. You got to go after what you want. And you don't deal with BS as a man. Right? And again, she's the one that initially broke up with you. She's the one that has to earn you back. Meaning she has to come to your place, bring a bottle of wine, and have a little bedroom fun. Let's call it that. Right? Wow, I've been doing these walks pretty quickly lately. We are at 60 minutes. We're at exactly 1 hour right now. Wow, not bad. If I can just take care of this ingrown toenail, I'll be back to 100% normal. Woo! Let me see here. Got 7 in the box, 7 thumbs up. I'm going to reset the chat. I'll be right back. Who's still around in the chat? Let me know. I'll be right back. Okay. No new chat messages, no problem. You know, everything I've shared here today regarding why modern men struggle with modern women, or women in general. I've talked about these aspects many, many, many times. And some of you may say, you sound like a broken record. Well, yes, I do. Well, why do you keep repeating the same shit over and over again, Eli? Because you still don't understand it. I may have to say it 200 times before it sinks in, you apply it, and then you see how well it works for you, right? I was watching another video earlier today as well from the Think Media channel, owned by Sean Cannell, great guy. He's just a little bit younger than me. I think he's in his early 40s now, late 30s, early 40s. He's a phenomenal entrepreneur. He has the same exact entrepreneurial spirit I do. He's also a God-loving man. He's a Christian. He's got a great wife, a new baby that they had last year. And I really love his channel. I love what he does. And when he first started, like 10 years ago or so, a little over 10 years ago, and you see some of his older videos, he appeared like one of these bummy millennial types, right? He was like, hello, this is Sean. He was like late 20s or early 30s, and like he was wearing like, you know, old faded millennial clothing, right? You see Sean Cannell nowadays, he wears nice clothing. He's matured. He has a great voice. He's a good dude. He made something out of himself. And I respect what he puts out there. And, you know, he was saying earlier the same thing that I say and Coach Corey Wayne says. He gets a lot of people complaining that, hey, Sean, you talk about the same stuff on Think Media all the time. And Sean's like, well, yeah, I do. And the reason is because repeating it is one of the best ways to learn it. When you hear things over and over again, repetition is the mother of skill, right? Here's the thing. Anybody that, you know, anyone that complains out loud that a creator is repeating something over and over again and that their channel sucks because of that is just not open to the help, right? They're just jealous of that creator, right? So if you think I have haters, I'm sure Sean Cannell has plenty of haters. And he's much more successful at this YouTube thing than I am, at least at this point. And probably always will be. I mean, he got into it a lot sooner than I did. Had I known about the YouTube opportunity as a creator, I would have started 10 years ago, not 5 years ago. Because 10 years ago, those channels that started 10 years ago are really rocking it nowadays. So repetition is the mother of skill. Right? Coach Corey Wayne says, read my book 10 to 15 times. I've mentioned this many times. I'll keep mentioning it. Coach Corey Wayne says, read my book 10 to 15 times. Why? Because every time somebody reads something, they only retain like 8 to 15% of the information. So if you read it 10 to 15 times, after the 10th read, you're going to start to really understand everything. And after the 15th read, you'll be an expert at it, right? learning things and being able to apply them properly with instinct on the fly takes time. It takes doing the same thing over and over and over again to become an expert at it, right? Okay? Because you're looking to get good at something and continuously get the same result, right? Now you might say, isn't doing the same thing over and over again insanity? No, doing the same thing over and over again expecting a different result is insanity. But when you do the same thing over and over again and you're learning something that will give you the desired result, that's different. That's not insane. Again, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again expecting a different result. Gotta tell you how beautiful it is out here right now. The water is full today, at least on this side. Guys, here's the thing. You want to find a good woman. You gotta give her the same thing or things that you expect from her. You want a hot chick? You gotta be a hot guy. You want a successful woman that makes 6 figures? You gotta be successful and make 6 figures. You want a woman that dresses nice and smells good? You got to dress nice and smell good. You want a woman that drives a nice car? You better drive a nice car. Now, nice car can be defined in many different ways. But if you want to date a woman that doesn't drive, a 1970s beat up, let's say like a Datsun, which is now Nissan. Do you folks remember the old name before the company changed to Nissan? It was called Datsun, D-A-T-S-U-N, Datsun. I remember my dad used to work for downtown Datsun in San Jose back in our younger days in the 80s when he was selling cars, and then he became half owner of 2 businesses with some other guy he was working with, and that became a world of shit. That's a story for another time. But my dad did well. He was working for downtown Datsun. What a great name, downtown Datsun. And quite frankly, to me, right, a woman doesn't have to have the best car. She just has to have a car that runs, right? I had a woman, the woman I was dating before I met the woman I'm with today. She had an older Mitsubishi, I think Mirage or something like that, and it was a 5-speed. And she has an uncle that's a mechanic that would do a lot of work for her for free. She just had to buy the parts, and she'd get the parts at cost through him. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, it was an older car. It didn't have all the bells and whistles that new cars like mine have, like the Apple CarPlay and heated seats and all that shit, dual climate and all that. We're fucking spoiled nowadays. We really are, right? But you know what? I respected her. She had a running car. She wasn't the richest woman in the world, but she was working on a career change, and she was a decent woman. Until she walked out one night, probably went back to her ex. There's no reason I can think of why she walked out of my place one night and then never came back. My lady can attest. I'm a decent dude. I'm not saying I'm all that, but babe, if you're still around, I treated my ex pretty much almost as good as I treat you. I mean, that's just my nature. The women that I've dated, I treat them good because I'm really into them and, like who they are. But baby, You're the most unique woman I've ever been with. And I say that in a good way. All right, that was another woman that was coming in, and now it's coming out, she's jogging. I think, again, like I was mentioning the other day, I can't remember if it was on this channel or Coach Eli too. On one of the streams I did, I was mentioning, maybe I've said it a few times, guys are very intimidated by modern women because modern women are surpassing modern men. Career-wise, financially, they're surpassing men in every way, right? And it's beginning to really intimidate men. And men are complaining, oh, you know, wow, women shouldn't have the same rights, this and that. No, they should. Why should it affect you from being the man you're meant to be just because women have equal rights? Right? Is it because it's forcing you to work harder, to be a good, strong man that you should naturally be anyway, right? Women being liberated or not being liberated should not affect men from being men. Men should be men no matter what the hell is happening. Men being men should be normal and have nothing to do with women. You being a man has nothing to do with women in any way, shape, or form. It has to do within you. But a lot of men nowadays are very intimidated by women, and they are seeing women rise up, and it's discouraging them. And instead of them working hard to meet the woman at her level, right? They're giving up and attacking women. And a lot of these men then end up pretending to be something they're not and getting with successful women, getting them emotionally attached, and then sucking their money dry. Right? But in order to get that woman, they had to lie to the woman and lead her to believe that he had money. I've heard a lot of horror stories regarding this over the last 20 years through the mainstream media. A lot of those crime TV shows have had stories like that where the woman was successful. She came across as a very attractive man. He was very attractive and appeared like he was successful financially and this and that, but he was actually a broke-ass loser and was pretending to be financially stable so he could reel her in and then find a way to siphon her money. It's really sad. I've seen that happen, right? So guys, you need to be guys, regardless of whatever era we're in. You being men should have nothing to do with whether women are liberated or not. But again, women's lib seems to be affecting men in ways that it shouldn't. And that's the one thing you guys have to let go if you want to be successful with women. You've got to accept, respect, and appreciate women as your equal. There's no need to try to fight a woman and prove that you're better than her, right? There are guys out there that say, oh, well, men are physically stronger and men are more capable at doing certain things than women. Well, no shit, that's just the biological truth. But do you have to rub it in? Only insecure, weak men, only insecure and pathetic, weak men need to flex their muscles when women already know that most men are physically stronger than them and are more capable at certain things than them. But good men that are like that, like me, also recognize women's strengths, and we encourage their strengths and we support their strengths And we don't sit there and flex our muscles on those women. We show them who we are by being cool, calm, and collective, embracing their abilities, and then coming together as one, as a team, and sharing our abilities together as a team. Real men do not feel the need to flex their muscles to anyone, including any woman they'd be dating. The most attractive thing to a woman is a man that's confident and sure of himself and knows his game plan and where he's heading without having to verbalize it to the woman or anyone else. Now, a lot of people may say, well, Eli, why do you verbalize everything you do? Because I'm a coach and I'm here to teach you folks. If I didn't do the coaching thing, I wouldn't be verbalizing all this stuff to my woman. I'd just be living it, right? But as a coach, I lead by example and share my examples of how I live my life and how I've gotten to where I'm at so you folks can learn from it. But in no way, shape, or form do I ever feel the need to flex my muscles to my woman or anyone else. I'm just me. Take me or leave me. You either love me or you don't. And if you don't love me, hey, no worries. It's your loss. No big deal to me. If you don't love me, I'll leave you alone. I'm not going to talk shit about you. I'm not going to bother you. You go do your thing. And maybe down the road, we might reunite on better terms. But in the meantime, you're not going to hear a peep from me. I'm just going to keep moving forward in a positive way and continue surrounding myself with positive people. That's it. Bottom line. All right, everyone, please get your questions, comments, and concerns in the chat. We're going to be going off the air in just about 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. I'm about to turn the corner here. I want to thank you all for being here today. I love you all. You're all really good people in your own unique way. Sorry, that woman was looking at me back there. She was curious. What is this guy doing with this selfie stick and camera? Well, I am live on the air, ma'am. It's called YouTube. I'm sure you've heard of it. Everyone else has, right? Thank you to everyone for being here today. We are leaving 5 in the box, 7 thumbs up. Let me reset the chat one more time to make sure I didn't miss any messages, and then we're going to go off the air and call it a day until tomorrow. All right, we're back live. We're back live. No new chat messages. So we're going to wrap it up at 78 minutes, 1 hour and 18 minutes. I'm getting much faster again. If I can get rid of this ingrown toenail, I'll be able to even walk this trail even faster, even at my old fart age of 48. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Have yourselves a great one. Take care. And as always, be good to each other.